I'm Andrew Stewart and I'm a fourth generation farmer, and along with my wife Jill we operate and manage this property. Which is 230 hectares. We plan to turn off 1,600 prime lambs per year. We produce wool and also run adjustment cattle. European settlement resulted in over-clearing of this landscape, and many issues arose accordingly, including erosion such as tunnel erosion, stream bank erosion, gully erosion, waterlogging, salting, exposure, lack of biodiversity and paddocks being too big. We developed a whole farm plan in 1992 and divided the property into 5 land classes, and we have been systematically fencing out the land classes and revegetating with multi-purpose trees. We've also fenced out and revegetated the creek lines and the drainage lines, the waterlogged areas and the salt affected areas. And we fenced out remnant vegetation areas. These have all been connected into a web of trees across the farm to form wildlife corridors. This system provided an ideal opportunity to integrate agroforestry into the farming system. We have now taken the property from 3.5% of woody vegetation in 1994 to 17% in 2016. This has not reduced the farm's carrying capacity, and we now have 23 kilometres of interface of multi-purpose trees and shrubs with the pastures. This provides good shade and shelter for livestock and protects soils and pasture. It also has increased our biodiversity and formed part of our integrated pest management strategy. The managed trees for saw logs are pruned up to 6 metres, and the species are spotted gum, blue gum, shining gum, sugar gum, blackwood, casuarinas and pine. We also get other tree and shrub products coming from the system. Whilst this system supports agriculture and addresses environmental issues, the managed trees are growing at a rate of 200 green tonnes per year, which is a real bonus.
I can almost smell the forest and the breath of the ocean.
We've now got a much more beautiful place to live, and I think that's partly what has attracted our 3 daughters to come back to the farm. They're all interested in staying here and doing something of their own on the property, and the whole 3 of them say that part of the reason for that is because it is such a lovely landscape to live in. And we do get a lot of comments from tours now that it's more like a park, our farm, rather than actually a farm looks like, which is really nice. And even on the times when you're not making much money on the farm, which is a fair bit of the time these days, you don't make a lot of money out of sheep, and but at least you've still got a really beautiful environment to live in, and it's a real pleasure to live here. Over the years we've been doing bird surveys. We had some bird surveys done by a specialist for over 5 years, and we've now counted up to 106 species of birds on the property. This area down behind us is a classic example. This was a salt affected area that was really badly salted and very boggy. We didn't have it fenced off at one stage, which we do now, and now the stock can't get in there and make a bit of a mess and get into the bog. And this is actually the most biodiverse spot on the property at this stage. It's probably got about 28 species of birds in there, and I think it's because there's quite a few different little microclimates are there. There's the higher tall trees which are attracting your bigger birds. There's a lot of understory there, so we've got the smaller birds like wrens and thornbills in amongst the smaller understory that's in there. And there's also a dam there with rushes and so on, so we get a lot of warblers and things like that, and ducks and things on the pond. So there's quite a diverse range of species of birds in that section. Hi, we're standing in one of the most beautiful spots in our property now that we've planted out to Banksias. This was a dam that was becoming highly eroded, and we made the decision that we needed to plant it out as part of our farm plan, where we were fencing off the majority of the farms on the property to protect the water quality. And so we just made the decision to fence this one off completely, and we've put in a stock trough down below the hills, and it just gravity feeds down to that so the stock can get their water from that. and plant something a bit different. We're just trying to add a bit of diversity to the farm, also to supplement the income of the farm. So we started our first time of planting off in 2010, so the plantings are now just over 6 years old, and we run a family tree planting day every year, and we started our first plantings on that family tree planting day, so we had all of our extended family plus quite a few of their friends from Melbourne come down and participate in planting this whole section out. We have 28 different species of Banksias planted up here, so therefore there is usually something flowering at most times of the year. I suppose because of the diversity of species we have up here, we now have a lot of birds up here, particularly honey eaters. We've also put a hive up here, a beehive, and we are intending to put quite a few more up here because there's so many things flowering. There's probably enough here for at least 10 hives of bees. Been running farm tours for many years on the property, trying to encourage people to farm more sustainably and to promote farm forestry. Our daughters are interested in this side of the business with the farm tours, and we as a whole family are looking to expand on that in the future with building an educational facility where we can share our experience and knowledge and hopefully gain knowledge from people that come here as well.
Bonjour. Ouvrez les barres s'il vous plaît. Laissez les barres ouvertes s'il vous plaît.
Perfect.